Hi guys, I'm Andy, welcome back to Backpacking UK, the YouTube channel that's all about hiking, backpacking and world camping. Right, this could be the next tent to take the industry by storm. This is the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2. It looks very similar to a Durston X-Mid tent. Now, I saw this being shared on the Durston Gearheads Facebook page, and it really caused a bit of a rift, a bit of a stir, because it is so similar to the Durston X-Mid tent. This could also be the end of the free UL Gear Lanshan 2. The Durston X-Mid is a multi-award winning trekking pole tent. It's a proper lightweight backpacking tent, and it was only a matter of time before that design was, I can't say copied for legal reasons, but till tents came out that looked suspiciously similar. A bit like the Hilleberg Alac 2 and the Nature High Cloud Peak 2. So where do I stand just quickly on suspiciously looking tents? I would always say if you've got the money, get the proper one. However, there's an enormous amount of people out there that either can't afford or justify paying for a premium tent, in which case you can get a top-end tent design for budget money. So Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2, it's made of a 15D nylon fabric, which is silicone treated double side, which gives you a hydrostatic head rating of 5,000 millimeters. Now the inner is actually a 20D ripstop fabric, so it's got the makings of a great tent. It also comes in this packet like this, but it's actually made up of two parts. So you've got the inner and the outer together. You can buy this tent in a one-person tent version or a two-person tent version. You can have an inner that is either mesh, or you can buy an inner that is solid as well. So it's a very flexible tent. It comes with 12 pegs, which are actually really quite nice, and it also comes with 4 guy lines. So it comes with everything you need to pitch this trekking pole tent properly. So what I'm going to do for you today, just going to pitch this backpacking tent just to show you around it. It's just going to be an initial review, and then I can't wait to get it out and see what it's really like world camping. So what you get inside the tent bag, so you've got a tent bag that houses both the inner and the outer. You've got the inner, you've got 4 guy lines, and you've got the outer, and you've got 12 of these really quite smart looking V-pegs. Really nice anodized pegs. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to pitch the inner with the built-in ground sheet out. So now I'm going to place the tent fly over the inner and just loosely peg this out too. Now I'm going to start pitching this tent with the trekking poles. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go round the tent, use the guy lines, use all the pegs, tighten it all up and get this trekking pole tent really nice and tall. Right, let's have a quick look around the outside of the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2. Now you can see what I'm talking about. It really does look like a Durston X-Mid. Nowhere near as easy to pitch. There's no doubt about that, because the Durston X-Mid really is with just 4 pegs and you can put the poles straight in. So it does take a little bit longer, but the shape is no doubt about it. It is suspiciously similar. It's a cracking looking tent. So let's have a look at the closer features of this tent. So you've got a vent on either side of the door. You've got 2 fixing points for the door. You've got a reinforcement point for an extra guy line there. You've got inner and outer fixings, so you can get the inner and the outer really nice and taut. I've used one of the reinforced fixings here. You've got the same halfway sort of through the sides as well. You've also got two, one on the door and one just by the side of the door as well. So you can get this tent really nice and taut, but it has got a lot of, shall we say, shared features of the Durston X-Mid. There's no doubt about that. So let's take a look inside this Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2 backpacking tent. So on the doors, what you've got a two-way zipper for the fly. You've also got a two-way zipper for the inner. This is the mesh inner. You can get a solid version of this inner first. You can buy them separately, so you can have a summer or a winter setup. It's also well worth noting that the fly zip is taped, which is a really nice touch actually. And like I say, you've got reinforcement panels on most of the fixing points too. So let's take a proper look inside. So let's take a look inside this two-person backpacking tent. I'll put the measurements in the description because I don't think they're provided on the site. But basically what you've got is similar to the X-Mid Pro, where you've got a pocket by each door. You've also got lantern hooks at the top of each door as well. But there's absolutely acres of space. Bathtub floor isn't very high, so I definitely would not use this when it's wet. But in the inner door, there's actually 3 fixing points, so there's no way that door's going to fall down. Same with the outer door. No stupid magnets like on the X-Mid, which are a complete waste of time. This has actually got some better features than the official tent. So what do I think about the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2 two-person trekking pole tent? Now, I paid £138, including delivery and taxes, from Alibaba, I think it was. I'll put the link in the description. This weighs somewhere between 1.2 and 1.3 kilos. The space inside this tent is absolutely massive. It's definitely got plenty of space for 2 people. There's no doubt about that. If you were using this as a summer tent, I think it would be absolutely superb. I love the fact that you can have it in 1 bag or 2 individual bags. Just makes it really packable. You can set up your backpack differently to how you usually would as well, which is great. I love the fact you can choose between a mesh inner and a solid inner. Gives you lots of options there. Now, I'm struggling really for value for money to really fault it. I mean, it hasn't pitched perfectly because I need to go and fine tune all the guy lines and all the little fixings because they're not set up quite right. It also doesn't come seam sealed. However, it does come with 2 seam sealing kits, which is fantastic. You know, I think the Lanshan 2 Pro doesn't come seam sealed either, and even the 4-season version of the standard Lanshan, I think you have to seam seal round by the doors. But let's be honest, right? There's plenty of expensive, especially North American, top-end tents that don't come with enough pegs, don't come with enough guy lines, and don't come seam sealed properly. So it's difficult for me to have a pop at this Chinese brand when the big brands aren't doing it either. But, you know, whether you agree or disagree with suspiciously similar tents, that's up to you, but I stand by that point. I still say if you've got the money and you can justify it, get the real thing. If you haven't got the money and can't justify it, then these suspiciously similar tents are absolutely superb because they enable everyone to have a top end tent design for budget backpacking money. It's just brilliant. And to be honest, I quite like the dark grey as well, I've got to say. And I wouldn't be worried about using this wild camping, because unlike the original version where it lights up like a Christmas tree if you've got a lantern inside, this being a bit darker, you know, people aren't going to see you, which certainly in the UK is actually quite a big deal. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all the details in the description, but I hope you like this review. It'd be good to get it out there and give it a proper test run. But please check out my other videos. Hope to see you wild camping soon. Cheers.